Good evening tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Lil Cock Smoker here. I love smoking cocks. You know me, I'm just smoking dick all day long. Just fucking putting penises in my mouth. Hell yeah. So, sorry this next Kenshi lore discussion took so long to come out. Basically, one of the largest mod creators in the game had a fucking public meltdown over Discord and then pulled all of his shit off the Steam Workshop. Which apparently, if you're using the Steam Workshop and somebody pulls their mods off the Steam Workshop, it deletes all the shit off of your game. So then I had to spend like 2 weeks combing Russian modding websites to find all the backups for the shit that this guy deleted in his spurg out. And then I had to figure out how to make fucking animation patch files for Kenshi so that my fucking game would run, because this guy literally broke my fucking save halfway through recording shit for this video, which fucking sucks ass. But in today's topic, we're gonna be talking about my favorite fucking my favorite group in Kenshi, my favorite sub faction or my favorite main faction, skeletons. Skeletons are robots. If you know anything about me, robots get my dick hard. I fucking love robots. Skeletons are a race of immortal humanoid robots with human-like features and human personalities. This makes them one of the most interesting races in the game. One of the things that I really enjoy in games or aspects of like lore telling is talking about immortality, because immortality seems like one of those things that would be really fucking cool, but in practice being immortal would kind of fucking suck ass by the time you hit like year 1000. And the skeletons do a really good job at fucking being a good immortal race, and also complementing Kenshi's themes of like humanity and human struggle. What do I mean by this? Well, everything in Kenshi is about different types of human struggle. And the robots have an interesting one because they themselves are non-human. So Kenshi is really a game about what it means to be human. And it's interesting that one of the most human races in the game with the most human moments of lore are literally a race of the metal robot people. If you guys want a really good video talking about Kenshi and specifically mentioning skeletons and why I like skeleton lore, Grimdark has a really good Kenshi video that you should all watch. In it, he basically talks about Kenshi and how it relates to themes of humanity, and how skeletons are one of the best examples of it. And I'm not just gonna parrot what he says in a less intelligent way, more so than I already am. I'm using that as a good baseline as why I enjoy skeletons. Because despite being like a minor faction and actually such a minor part of the game itself, skeletons as a race are kind of the main characters of the Kenshi lore, because everything bad in the entire lore that goes on is somehow their fault. They are typically at the center of all of the important events in Kenshi lore, and some of the most important characters that we have in the fragmented, half-finished mess that Kenshi lore is, do happen to be skeletons like Tin Fist and Catlon. And in the collapse of Catlon's empire, and really just the whole aspect of lore before everything in the game takes place, you find some of the most human moments in skeleton lore itself. All of the skeletons in Kenshi are extremely apathetic when it comes to life. This is because they've pretty much tried every single form of government and watched it collapse horribly, and have lived through the last few thousand years of just horrific cataclysmic events fucking humanity up until it's just what you see before you in the game. And knowing at least a little bit of the history of Kenshi, it's no surprise why all of these skeletons are so apathetic when it comes to existence on the planet. Because literally everything that you read about the lore that skeletons have lived through, since they're all immortal, is just fucked up. Now, the one aspect of this that we do have, though, that kind of saves a lot of these skeletons from having to deal with this is the fact that most skeletons end up inevitably resetting their memory before they go crazy. They kind of have like a Dark Souls, like going hollow-esque type of approach to immortality, where if they're alive too long, they kind of their memories kind of get either clogged up, or they just start like short-circuiting. Or you could argue that just being alive that long would make any fucking like conscious living creature go crazy. I'm kind of more of the end of like, it's not like a memory limitation, it's more just that being alive that long would make anyone fucking go crazy. So most skeletons actually don't remember much because they perpetually keep wiping their memories about every 100, 200 years or so to stay sane. There's only actually a very select few of the entire skeleton population that you can talk to that actually will give you lore tidbits of ages further back than 100 years. So it's not that all skeletons that you find in the game need to reset themselves. It's just that most either choose to, or they end up like running into like weird little memory problems that ends up fucking them over. There's these two skeletons in the workshop in the Deadlands, and they kind of end up filling you in a little bit on like the mechanics of how skeletons needing to reset their memory works. But it's not like very fleshed out. However, there's a couple other skeletons. Like if you go to World's End, there's a skeleton, and he's running the Tech Hunter library, and he's fucking scheming. He's up to something. I don't fucking trust that guy. But he's also clearly has his memories and faculties from the Chaos Age and all the age of war crimes that skeletons ended up committing. Like, he still has his memories, so not 100% on the skeleton memory resetting thing, but it really adds to their their like Dark Souls-esque discussion of humanity, because like every skeleton that you meet is pretty much going to be losing his mind from being immortal, and I think that shit's pretty cool. That shit's pretty cool. Skeletons as a main faction have a lot of sub-factions too that I could ramble about. I'll save like some of the more interesting ones, like really talking about them, for the next videos. But I just like really fast want to like brush up like skeletons themselves. You got the skeletons as a group, as a faction themselves. In the Deadlands, those guys are pretty interesting. A bunch of depressed guys, but there's a lot of other interesting skeletons in the Kenshi world. Specifically, the skin bandits are an interesting example of skeletons that have been reprogrammed and kind of lost their fucking mind. And now they're traveling around the wasteland in giant hordes, skinning people alive and wearing their skin, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style. Very, very cool, very aesthetic, very horrifying, but you know, it's a good example of skeletons. If they're left alive too long, they'll just fucking go crazy. Also, in a lot of the other areas, you can find skeletons that have lost their mind, or skeletons that have been turned into thralls and somewhat zombified. Yeah, that's right, we got fucking zombie robots in Kenshi. I know, it's terrible. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to travel to Venge, the fucking giant laser part of the map, you've probably been unfortunate enough to been run down by a group of 50 or 60 or so headless screaming robots who then proceed to beat you with baseball bats and break your knees and take your lunch money. These guys are thralls. They are a majorative remainder of the skeleton race here, because that's right, a lot of the skeletons ended up getting fucking zombified after not following Catlon in doing an entire genocide of humanity on the human race. A lot of them were like, you know, I don't want to do a genocide on the human race. And then Catlon was like, that's cool. I'm gonna turn you into a fucking thrall and zombify you, though. Understanding Kenshi lore could really just be broken up into like 3 time periods, as you get the Age of the Ancients, the Age of Skeleton War Crimes, and the Third Empire. That's basically all you need to know about Kenshi lore here. Is basically things were cool, everything got fucked up in a war, skeletons did war crimes for 2,000 years, and well, here we are. It's this aspect that makes skeletons and the Holy Nation themselves kind of like an interesting little like dynamic there, because if you really think about it, the Holy Nation is kind of right about skeletons. A lot of the bad shit that has happened is basically the direct result of fucking skeleton fuckery going on. But also, you know, skeletons have some redeeming qualities too. There's this giant skeleton in the lore named Stobe. He kind of gets like martyred and deified, but basically towards the end of the fucking Chaos Age, right when humanity is about to get fucking wiped out by like a nuke or something, Stobe ends up saving the remnants of humanity and basically stopping humanity from being extincted, despite being a skeleton himself. Then Catlon kind of ruins all of that like good faith between humans and skeletons by doing genetic experiments and war crimes for 2,000 years. So yeah, that sucks. That really sucks, don't it? Anyways, skeletons ended up being, hivers get a lot of love, but me personally, I find that skeletons and all of the skeleton antics that end up going on are probably one of the most interesting parts of Kenshi lore themselves. Like they got everything funny that robots can do in a post-apocalyptic setting. The skeletons in Kenshi are doing. If you like robots, you like the skeletons in Kenshi. Maybe here in the future I'll do like a schizo lore overview on some of these skeleton war crimes that they ended up committing. Because I figure that anybody watching this video has probably already watched some of the other like Kenshi lore overviews, you know, like the general applicable history of the like continent of Kenshi, the planet of Kenshi, whatever. Like, you know, as I say, there's a lot of people who could explain the actual timeline of events a lot better than I can. So if you really want to understand what the fuck, who the fuck Stobe and Catlon is, and what the actual full extent of their silly war crimes are, you know, there's plenty of videos that I would recommend to go check out. This video itself is basically just me discussing how the skeletons are probably aesthetically and lore-wise my favorite part of the entire fucking game itself. Yeah, you know, that's about it. Thanks to anybody who actually ended up listening or watching this entire time, you fucking madmen. I'll probably end up doing some more Kenshi discussions of lore in the future. Maybe discuss the United Cities or the Skin Bandits or something silly like that. And then, you know, I'm also trying to branch out to some other games here. I might talk about some Sonic fan games that I you know, enjoy from the past, or some other things here, but you know, stay tuned. There'll at least be something, some fucking schizo ramble coming out here in the future.